guys, welcome back to another video, and today I will be doing a full set ombre nails. So I already went in and I cleaned up my cuticles. I prepped the nail using a 180 sanding band, and now I'm just going in with my square tips. These square tips are available on my website for purchase. They are absolutely amazing. So if you guys don't have my square tips already, please go ahead and head over to the website and get them. So guys, whenever I am measuring my tips, I make sure I measure and the nail fits from sidewall to sidewall. That way we have all the strength in the nails. You never want to use a tip that's too small, because then your nail can break easily or it can chip on the side easily. So you always want to make sure, if you have two tips, you go for the bigger tip. If you don't have a tip that fits exactly, go for the bigger one, and you can always come in with your hand file and file the sides down, or use your scissors to cut the excess off. So when I'm gluing my tips on, I put the glue on the client's nail. Before, I used to put it on the tip, but then I found out that the glue was running down on the tip, and I didn't like that. And I found it way easier to just put the glue on the client's nail, and then I just put the tip on it. When you're gluing the tips down, you don't want to put the tips halfway through the nail or too much down the nail. You just want to glue the tip exactly at the free edge of the nail. You want to make sure you have as much nail bed as possible to work with. So make sure you're not gluing your tip too far down the nail, and make sure it fits sidewall to sidewall. And whenever you're gluing your tips on, please make sure that you're gluing the tip straight. Like, you see how that client's finger is going to one side. You don't want to follow the nail. You do not want to follow the way that the nail is going. Just try to make sure you look at the way it's going and the way that it's actually straight, and glue the tip on how it's straight. I hope that made sense. And then, as I said before, you just glue the tips at the free edge of the nail, and making sure it fits sidewall to sidewall, making sure the nail are straight. You want to make sure the nails are straight from the beginning of from your gluing the tips, because sometimes if the nails are not straight, it's kind of hard to get the shape back in the end. So you always kind of want to make sure the tips are already on straight. It's gonna save you the extra work trying to catch the shape in the end when you already messed up when you glued the nail on. And now I'm going in and I'm just cutting the tips to my client's desired length. Usually I cut the tip just above the length that they say they want it, and then I show it to them, and then I come in and just cut all of them. But first I show them, and then if they say down more, I can always go down a little bit more. So that's why I cut it longer than what they say they want. Then I show it to them. Then if it's okay, that's okay. But if they want shorter, I could go shorter. But I never cut exactly or a little bit shorter, because then I don't want them to say, no, I didn't mean that short. Then what we're gonna do, I'm not gonna remove the tip anyways. Like I said before, so I'm just coming in now with my scissors, and I was going to cut the nails, because usually I cut some of the sides off with the scissors, but then she don't want her square tapered, so I stopped, and I'm just giving her like a sharp square. And whenever we're shaping the nail, you want to make sure you hold the file extremely straight. You don't want to bend the file. You don't want to be shaping only the tip of the nail. You want to make sure that the file is connected throughout the nail. You see how I'm shaping, and when I'm shaping, I'm making sure the file is connected throughout the nail. I'm not leaving no gaps or any room for arrows. And whenever you're shaping, just take the time out to look at the nail, you know, making sure you're focused, making sure you're filing each side, you're alternating. You don't want to stay on one side too long, because then you can end up making that side crooked. So I always try to make sure I switch sides and I look at it, and sometimes I'll come back to the previous nail. I check it because sometimes when you're staring at the nail too long, you can't really see what the arrow is. So sometimes I move away from the nail. If I'm not getting it, I skip to the next nail and then I come back, then I see the arrow. So sometimes because you're looking at the nail so long, you can't even see what needs to be done. I don't know what that's called. So the hand file I'm using is a 100 grit hand file, and these are also on my website. All the products that I'm using in this video will be in the link. There will be a link in my description box. So whenever you're done watching the video, you can always go ahead and visit the website. Whenever I'm done shaping, I always blend the tip to the natural nail, making sure I get rid of that ledge, because whenever I'm coming in with my application, I want to make sure my application is nice and smooth, and just in case we're doing any kind of design that might show through, we don't want that ledge to be showing. Sometimes I do use my drill for this part, but now I decided most times it depends. Like if I already have my hand file in my hand, I just go ahead and use it. And now we're just coming in, we're just gonna make sure we dust the nails off. That way when we come in to prime the nails, we do not have any kind of dust, debris, nothing on the nail. We need to work on a clean surface. And I'm using the Young Nails Protein Bond, and I'm gonna come and do this. I'm gonna give it 2 coats. And then today, the design that we will be doing, I think we're gonna be using a pink. It's called Amy. And then we're gonna be using this milky white from Young Nails. So that's Amy right there. So pretty. If you're looking for a pink to get your ombre going, you should definitely get this pink, guys. You will fall in love. It's so buttery, it's so nice. Like it's perfect for your ombres. So we place the first bead right where the tip and the natural nail meets. And whenever you're doing an ombre, you want to make sure that you blend the back of the bead. You never want to leave that sharp ledge where you place the bead down. You never want to leave that part thick. You want to make sure you blend it flat. That way when you come in with your cover powder, it's harder to see the white through the pink. So the flatter that part is going to be like harder to show through the pink. When you come in with your cover powder, it's going to be harder to show. So make sure when you put the first bead down, you blend the back of the color, whether it's white, whether it's red, whatever color you're using. That's like a very big thing in doing an ombre set and getting great results. You always want to make sure you blend the back of the first bead that you place down, because when you come in with your cover powder, you want to get as much coverage as possible, and if it's thick, it's going to be hard to cover it. If you left that first bead, the ledge thick, it's going to be hard to cover it. And then I'm just gonna come in with some clear powder after this. Whenever you're doing any kind of encapsulated designs or ombre, you always want to make sure you come in with clear. That way you seal your design. So when you come in to drill, you do not drill directly in your design. And just now I was showing you like the apex of the nails, because sometimes different nail tech build apex differently. For me, it depends on the length of the nail. If I'm doing a nail like this long, I'm not building the apex super thick, you know. And every client is different too. Some people, depends on their jobs, they want different size apex. Some of my clients work in warehouse, so when I'm doing their nails, I made the apex like thicker, so that way it can hold like way more pressure and it doesn't break like that easily. So sometimes it depends on the job the clients have, but for the most part, my apex is not super high and it's not flat, it's just in between. And this client particularly, she hates when her apex is high. So now we're coming in again with the white, and like you see, I am blending the back of the white. That way when I do not leave a harsh line. That way when I come in with my pink, I'm going to have a decent coverage. Like the white is that you can, so basically you don't want to see where the white started. That's the goal. You don't want to see where the white started, and if the line is so harsh and sharp across, it's going to be like a strong possibility that you're going to be able to see where the white started. So you always want to make sure you blend the back of that bead properly. And then I'm gonna come making sure that I clean up my side walls, that way I keep my shape, because in the end we don't want to have too much work to do. So now I'm coming in with the second bead, and whenever I'm doing an ombre, I try to work wet. Like, even if, let's say, some people apply all the white first, they find that easier to apply the white, then you come back and apply the pink. But for me, like, I tried it before and I don't like it, because when I come to file, that means I have to wait longer to file the pinky finger, when if I had just put the white, the pink, and the clear on the pinky would have been dry and I could file it. But because I did the clear in the end on top of the pinky finger, I came back to it. Like, it just, I think it slows me down, so I like to finish the nail and then I move on to the next one. And then, like I said before, I'm just coming in with my clear, and I'm making sure I encapsulate my ombre. That way when I come into drill or any type of filing, I'm not filing directly in my pink and white, because that's going to remove most of the products. So I'm showing you guys how to pick up a bead. So the top part is the part that I swipe. The part that I'm putting in the powder is the part that has the liquid in it. If you have any excess liquid, you want to go to your napkin and you want to remove all your excess liquid. You're going to place the bead down, and that harsh line right there, you're going to make sure that is nice and flat. You don't want to leave that harsh line, because as I said before, you're going to see it really strong through the pink. So you want to blend the back of that first bead, and then you're going to always make sure you hold the client's finger facing downward. That way the gravity and the powder is going to automatically run to the tip of the nail. Always wipe off your excess powder. Why are you keeping it? It's already running off. It's too much, so just go ahead and remove it. Like, if you can control it, fine, but try not to fight with the powder. We're gonna come in with the pink, and we're gonna place the cuticle bead not exactly in the cuticle, just above the cuticle, and then you tuck it. You see how I'm tucking the bead back in the cuticle? That's how you want to do it. And then you want to flush the rest of the bead with the white. Always try to make sure, if the bead is getting too dry and you see it's getting streaky and hard to blend in the white, always go to your monomer and get some more liquid, and just so the acrylic can have more wetness to it. And because, like I said before, the wetter the acrylic is going to be easier to flush the bead and have a nice transition. And then you always encapsulate your ombre with clear or any kind of encapsulated design that you have, and making sure you clean up your side walls, and make sure you practice. Yo, I'm gonna give y'all a joke. I remember I was working in a nail shop and this lady, she was like, I want ombre. I was just learning how to do nails. She was like, I want ombre. And she said, you could do ombre? And I'm like, yeah, I could do ombre. Because, you know, like me, I never tell myself I can't do something. Even if I know I'm struggling with it, I tell myself that I can do it. That way, you know, I approach the work with confidence. I don't be like, oh, I'm not so good at it. If you ask me if I can do it, I'm going to say yes, unless I definitely know that I don't have any clue. I'm clueless on how to do it. So anyway, so she was like, can you do ombre? So I was like, yeah. So she said, okay, I want a medium length ombre nail. So I was like, okay, bet, let's go. So I picked up the first bead and I started to go to work. Girl, listen. The lady, after the second nail, she was like, can you please remove it? I don't like it. That thing was so ugly. But you know what the problem was though? I noticed the nail shop, the monomer dried so fast, so it was so hard for me to blend the colors. And remember, I was just practicing, so I didn't get the, you see how I'm telling you to blend the back of the white, the first bead. I didn't fully get that part as yet, so I wasn't blending the back of the bead, so I had that harsh line. And then the pink wasn't flushing because the liquid is taking forever, not taking forever, the liquid is drying too fast. So that ombre was a complete mess. And y'all, the only thing I like she wasn't rude. She was just like, can I think we should do a different design, because she saw that wasn't going right. And deep inside, like, I wasn't saying anything because I was just hoping for the best. Like, I'm just leaving this to God. Like, maybe in the end when I'm done and I put some top coat on, it's gonna look better. But I am so happy. It was a black lady, I remember her. She was like, can you just remove this and do a basic full set? As I said before, I was like on the second nail, so I was like, yes, sure, because the first nail wasn't like all that dry, and then of course I'm on the second nail, so that was just setting. So I was able to go back to the first nail and scrape it off, and then the second nail I was able to just remove that fast. And then I did the basic full set and I polished her. But I like the way that she was kind, because she could have like get up and create a scene. You know how some people are. But she didn't do that, and I'm so grateful for that, because sometimes people kill your ego with their attitude. Like, y'all ever have clients, like, the moment they walk in, it's an attitude, and they just keep looking at what you're doing, staring, and like they trying to make you feel like you can't do the job, and you feel intimidated, and you're there already trying to think how you're gonna execute the work, and then they're acting like that, makes the situation even worse, and then you mess up. Like, I hate that. So sometimes you really have good people that give you a fair shot. That lady gave me a fair shot. She let me do 2 nails, then she was like, no, no ma'am. But anyways, that was the worst experience I had with trying to get like a ombre. And I'm happy the lady didn't really kill my ego. I was embarrassed, but you know what, I'm this type of person. If that happened to me today, I'm coming back tomorrow, and I'm coming back the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and I'm gonna keep going. So that's the mentality I want all my fellow nail techs to have. Just keep going, don't get discouraged, because the moment you decide to give up, you never know what would have happened tomorrow. Like, if you give up, you don't know what the future would have been, and then you're gonna keep thinking, what if I had continued, what if I had continued? Like, once you have love for nails, guys, don't stop. Like, once the love is deep, trust me, it's a part of the process. Give yourself a few more months and keep practicing, and you're going to be like so happy you did not give up. Anyways, guys, back to the nail. So I'm coming back in again with my 100 grit hand file, and I'm just coming in, making sure I clean up my side walls and I clean underneath the nails. Whenever you're shaping, you always want to make sure you get the underside of the nail, like what I'm doing, because sometimes we have hang nails and then it makes the shape on top appears crooked, when that's not always the case. It's just that you need to clean up the underside, and then the top will look better. So you always want to make sure you go ahead and clean up any excess that's hanging from the underside, and clean up your free edge, and make sure you're holding your file extremely straight if you're doing a square nails, and make sure the file is against the nail, like so. See how I'm showing you? Just like that. Make sure the file is sitting against the nail, there's no gap, and you give it firm strokes, and hold your file straight, and you alternate from one side to the next. Guys, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, make sure you leave a comment down below. Tell me what kind of videos you want to see me doing. I'm really gonna be like more consistent with my content. I'm already consistent, but I think there's something missing, and I need you guys to help me, like to tell me what I'm supposed to do, what kind of content I'm supposed to post, or what you would like to see more of. So just leave comments down below, and make sure you guys are liking the video. Like, pause the video right now and like the video, because if you don't like the video, then YouTube is not going to send out my videos to other people. Other people can't see me. I'm not going to have like people coming over to subscribe to my channel. Like, I'm helping you, so try to help me just by liking the video and sharing it with somebody else, and making sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I said before, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.